Now, a recent invite from Iran to attend the funeral ceremony of Iran's supreme leader to Prime Minister Narendra Modi has put India in a diplomatic dilemma. Now, why India faces such diplomatic dilemma? And the biggest question that everyone is asking is whether Prime Minister Modi himself will attend the funeral ceremony or whether he is going to send some high-level official for this purpose. Also, any decision taken by India in this regard is going to be closely watched by many regional allies as well as United States and Israel. It is also believed to be one of the major diplomatic litmus tests that India is going to face in the recent times. So, what is this entire dilemma about? Why India faces such kind of crisis, and how will it properly or adequately navigate it? Let us try to decode and understand in more detail. Now, we know that Iran invited Prime Minister Narendra Modi to attend the state funeral. Funeral, as per the report, will be held somewhere between 4th to 9th of July 2026. We know that in the earlier part of the year, Khamenei was killed in the US and Israel joint strike. Khamenei was the supreme leader who had strong control over the entire Iran's state machinery for several decades. He was killed, he was eliminated, and India still had to announce its representation, who is going to take part in the ceremony as such. Whatever decision India take, it is believed that it is going to have some sort of diplomatic implications. Now, let us try to understand why is it a diplomatic dilemma. The reason is because India cannot say no. We cannot send, or we would not send any representative, because it would also send a wrong message to Israel, as India and Israel enjoy strong historical ties that dates back to centuries as such. At the same time, we know that the killing was carried out by, or the attack was carried out by countries such as US and Israel, with which India enjoys a very strong strategic partnership, especially that has evolved in last couple of decades. At the same time, Iran also attacked Gulf nations such as UAE, Saudi Arabia, and with them also we enjoy a very strong extent of bilateral relationship that encompasses almost every sphere of relationship, whether it is economic, energy based, cultural, or even security based. This conflict thus makes decision very sensitive, because no matter whatever decision India takes, it would be watched and analyzed by all the countries. Also, the decision of India to send some representatives, what kind of representatives, is going to also answer what kind of strategic autonomy India enjoys or claims to enjoy. Now, if you look at the previous approach to understand what are the possibilities India might have in this particular situation. So, we know that in 2024, the then president of Iran, Raisi, was killed in the helicopter crash, and India declared one day of national mourning. Not only that, India also decided to send the vice president of that time, Jagdeep Dhankar, to attend the funeral ceremony in Iran itself. Thus, India was able to maintain diplomatic protocol and also was able to show that it is a portrayer of balanced foreign policy. It enjoys a strong degree of ties with Iran and at the same time enjoys a strong relations with the US and Israel. Now, if you look at the official stand of India as far as this particular crisis after the war is concerned, so we know that when US and Israel launched a joint attack against Iran, and that led to elimination of large number of top leaders including super leader, the initial approach of India was to maintain silence, do not say anything about it. However, Foreign Secretary visited the Iranian embassy in India and signed the condolence book, as we can see. PM, on the other hand, during his messages, he clearly appealed to both groups, both parties, that they should come back to dialogue and discussion, and they should basically exercise restraint as far as the war is concerned. And this has been a long-standing principle of India, whether it is the Russia-Ukraine war, Armenia-Azerbaijan war, or in this case, even Iran versus Israel plus US war. India always talks about having dialogue as a major approach to tackle crisis, showing restraint so that the innocent lives are not lost. And at the same time, India also supported the sovereignty of Iran, that its territorial integrity, sovereignty, or for that matter, for any nation, should not be violated. However, during its speeches, India carefully avoided taking any particular side. Neither it fully supported US and Israel, nor it fully supported Iran. Now, the question is that why such diplomatic decisions become more sensitive, and the reason is because Iran holds significant importance to India. This importance can be felt in various spheres. For example, we know that if you look at this particular map, here you have the Gulf of Oman, and nearby Gulf of Oman along the Iranian coast, you'll find a port that is referred as Gwadar Port. Now, Gwadar Port is in Pakistan, and if you look at here, this is a Chabahar port that is in Iran. We have invested a heavy amount of money in Chabahar port, and it is strategically important to us because if we want to connect with the Central Asia, if we want to connect with Afghanistan, we can bypass completely Pakistan if we are able to use the Chabahar port. Overall, because of this region, India for a long duration, long many years were completely invested both strategically as well as financially in this project. However, due to the lapse of the sanction waiver given by US related to this project, now the future of this project looks in jeopardy. Not only that, India also enjoys a strong degree of trade and cultural relationship. We know that after Iran, India is home to second highest number or population of Shia Muslim in the world. Also, many Kashmiri are feel connected to the Iran due to their historical linkages, and many Kashmiri students actually study in different universities of Iran as such. And also from the regional connectivity perspective, for example, international north-south transportation corridor, you can take, for example, all of these are very vital to ensure that India-Iran enjoys a robust relationship. Now, most importantly, we can talk about the energy and strategic interest. We know that due to the Iran versus Israel war, the one major area where we faced crisis was the Strait of Hormuz, and this raised to the concern related to energy security. We faced massive crisis, especially in the field of LPG, CNG, etc., LNG, etc., because majority of our gas import is coming from this Persian Gulf region, and because transportation to this route was completely disrupted, the Strait of Hormuz was kind of blockaded, India faced a lot of crisis. That is why any kind of regional instability directly affect oil trade, and at the same time, large number of Indian diaspora are living in the Gulf country. So any security implications you have in this region, any security threat that you have in this region is directly going to impact these Indian people. Plus, maritime security is something that India gives clear priority to this area because most of oil and gas trade is coming from this region. So, because of this, one thing we can understand is that no matter whether it is Iran or the countries along the Arabian Peninsula, this entire region has huge implications and interest for us in the energy and strategic dimensions. Now, why Iran, India need to walk this diplomatic tightrope very clearly, very delicately? It is because of US and Israel factor. We know that India in the recent years have enjoyed strong defense ties with Israel. We have begun to import large number of defense equipment, machineries, joint production we have carried out along with Israel. At the same time, we have reduced our dependency on Russia and have begun to purchase more military grade weapons equipments from US as well. For example, whether it is Chinook helicopter or whether it is C-10 Globemaster aircrafts. So in those areas, we are growing our partnership. And in the Indo-Pacific region, we are trying to look at the China threat from a common viewpoint, common angle, and that's where the US relationship with India, US-India relationship becomes very crucial. At the same time, in the Gulf region, we are engaging closely, and thus it requires a diplomatic balance before India can take any hasty decision as such. Now, as per the expert, what might be the possible diplomatic options? First is, many experts, including Brahma Chalani, believes that the this attendance of Prime Minister Modi himself in Iran's Supreme Leader ceremony is going to be very unlikely because it would definitely raise eyebrows and concern in the US and Israeli leadership. At the same time, Gulf countries might not be happy with this. Second, they can send some senior ministry or dignitary, like in the last time after the death of the then President Raisi, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar was sent. But the problem is that this situation is very different. How is it different? Because that was a chopper crash. That was the accident when Prime President of the Iran died. This time, the killing of Supreme Leader is carried out by two nations, that is US and Israel. So, attending ceremony in that situation becomes a very sensitive and complex task. Other possibility India has is by sending a limited diplomatic delegation. That means India would be able to send this message that India values its relation with Iran, and that's why it is participating in the funeral ceremony of the Supreme Leader. It will also be able to portray that it is able to have this different, it is able to have a strong relation with Iran without any external pressure. And at the same time, it would be a symbolic representation of India's relation with Iran as well. But the one point that we should all agree upon is that no matter what decision India takes, each of the options, whether to send high level officials, whether to send limited diplomatic delegation, or to be completely absent from the ceremony, is going to have not only short term but long term consequences. That's why rightly it is referred as a diplomatic litmus test for India, that India has no option but to walk through it, but to prove it. And that is what exactly we're expected to do in the coming few days. Now, what exactly is the decision taken by government of India? We have to wait, watch, and see. But interestingly, no matter whatever decision government takes, it is going to unfold in an interesting way. So that's all for this particular review. I hope you got the idea and just behind the diplomatic challenges India is facing, and how it is going to solve it. Thank you very much.